The reason why the president is talking about rejigging is because he has the mandate of the people. Section 5 of the Constitution says the executive powers of the Federation lies in the president, and that he execute that responsibility either by himself or through the vice president or through the ministers of the government of the Federation or other organs of government and agents of government. So when you are there on his behalf. And so if you can't speak, then definitely you will have to assess, because what you have done cannot be hidden. And that's why there was this KPI, if you remember, at the inaugural lecture they had. They said KPI for every person. And you can tell, without nobody saying whether you perform or not, you can tell based on the KPI and what you have achieved. So what he did the other time was he said, go and engage with Nigerians and tell Nigerians what my objectives were, what your assignment was at the time, and how you have achieved it. If you remember, there was a time each minister, they had a press briefing, I think for 5 days or so, where everybody had to talk. You could see, Nigerians can see those who were able to articulate that, and those who weren't able to articulate.
But the challenge is, pardon me, Mr. Bwala, they're not able to sit down and have a conversation. Right. Let the press ask you questions. Same way I'm asking you questions. Right. Let's look at what you've done or what you've not done.
Correct.
And say, what is going on here? And I'm looking at a list of over 40 ministers, and I can pick the ones that have actually spoken out, offered themselves for interviews. I can count a handful of it. And it takes me to this question before we go to our Lagos studio.
Right.
Does that mean that the president didn't choose the right people for these jobs?
No.
Because you don't change a winning team, Mr. Bwala. So obviously, these teams or these players are not performing well. It speaks to their performance if they cannot come to speak. And this is out there, Nigerians know this thing. But I want to go back to the president's choice of these people. Do you think he's looking back and saying, I didn't pick the right people for this positions?
Not necessarily, because the president does not have the celestial powers to know whether you can or cannot.
No, I'm saying now with the performance.
So with the performance now, and that's why he has put out the words that he's going to do it. I think part of the confusion we have in the media is that people try to peg what he will do to events. May 29, he will do it. He didn't do it. June 11, whatever, he will do it. He didn't do it. Oh, he's going to do it in August because they are clocking the first year. Oh, no, he didn't. Oh, 1st October. He's not going to be guided by events. He's going to be guided by when he wants to. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Because one, nobody asked the president to set the KPI. In fact, all the presidents in the past, he is one president who is bold enough to say, look, I'm not going to cover anybody. I will give you all the support you need to perform your duty, but I will assess you. And if you don't do well, it's not going to be on your face or whether I know you or you were with me before. Once there is non-performance on your part, I am going to ask you to go. So for those who have failed him, look, this is how I look at it. I look at it that the president does not have a problem of entrusting responsibility, but those who have failed him have failed themselves and their destiny. Because one thing about life is opportunity. And sometimes you don't even know somebody has the capacity to do something until you give him the responsibility. And that's what he has done. And most presidents, after they win election in the first term, is politics. There are one or two people making a recommendation. So you tend to give people opportunity. When it doesn't happen, then you will now come out and do what you think.